Thank you, Axel, and good morning, everyone. You may not realize it, but today you are seated in what some people might consider a startup enterprise. It doesn't look like a startup enterprise. We are not in a glass building in the center of Berlin, but we are in a building that was built over 100 years ago and is formerly a botanical institute, which is why we have our own small park here and are connected to two major parks on either side of it. We don't have, unlike other startups, table tennis tables here in this room or in our reception area, which is often the case with startup enterprises nowadays. Many of us still wear jackets and ties, which is also not typical for a startup enterprise. And you may not realize it because much of what we do, the teaching of and research into the law and all its many facets, we resemble, I think, most of the institutions from which you come. But we are in many ways indeed, at least in spirit, still a startup enterprise. We were founded only in the year 2000 by the Zeit Foundation Ebeline und Gerd Bucerius. Gerd Bucerius, after whom this law school is named, was a judge, publisher, politician, and businessman who played a significant role in the establishment of a free press here in Germany after World War II. He and his wife Ebeline died without children and left their entire fortune to the Zeit Foundation Ebeline und Gerd Bucerius. The place where you sit today, the Bucerius Law School, is the flagship project of the Zeit Foundation. This law school, the first private law school in Germany, strives to reform German legal education and aspires to represent the German legal community in international discourse. And maybe it's a bit ironic that an American is standing here and saying that, but I think that is typical of the spirit of this institution. In keeping with the vision of Gerd Bucerius, the law school curricula of both the undergraduate LLB program and the graduate LLM program reflects the values I mentioned to you a moment ago. These curricula place a heavy emphasis not only on national law, but national law in the context of other legal systems and even of other disciplines. We call this philosophy Law Plus. It means that all students must participate in a program of general studies, a program that includes seminars on politics, philosophy, art, and many other areas. It includes not only visits to leading Hamburg institutions such as Airbus and Lufthansa Technik, but also involves meeting with the homeless people of Hamburg so that we can see the city through their eyes and experiences. It means that our LLB students must spend a semester at one of the law school's 91 partner institutions in 33 countries around the world, while those institutions send students to Bucerius to study in English and to enrich our campus community. It means that our undergraduate law students must take certain courses, law courses in other languages such as English, and may take law courses in additional language such as French, Spanish, and Russian, so that students can participate fully in the international legal dialogue. Law Plus also means that just as Gerd Bucerius was a lawyer, and a businessman, Bucerius Law School undergraduate students can obtain a certificate in business studies as well as law. This multidisciplinary approach is taken even further in our Master of Law and Business program, in which both business people and lawyers participate. So unlike traditional LLM programs, which focus on business law and are only for lawyers, the Master of Law and Business program is conceived uniquely for this mixed student body of lawyers and business people who learn both how these two disciplines intersect and how to speak each other's languages. I teach the introductory law courses in that program, and it takes at least 2 months before the business people realize that efficiency is really not the goal of the law. I mean, it's something that they've been studying for years in their undergraduate business curricula and also been learning in practice. And when I keep talking to them and saying, we really aren't trying to be efficient in the law, we have other goals, it takes a long time for that to sink in. Along with many of our fine colleagues at the German state universities, and I have to say I had the pleasure of studying at one of those state universities back in the Stone Age many years ago, the Bucerius Law School builds on this very strong German tradition of freedom of teaching and research. Because of our small student body and relatively large number of professors, the Bucerius Law School uses a small class size and intense interaction between students and professors to help each individual student achieve his or her full potential potential. One result of the approach is that the Bucerius graduates achieve very, very good results in the German bar exams, known as the first and second state exams, and along with faculty research, these results to lead to Bucerius being consistently ranked among Germany's top law schools. In keeping with the ideals of Get Bucerius, the aim of this law school is to educate outstanding individuals who are willing to take their place in society and to accept responsibility not just for themselves, but also for others. For example, in cooperation with the Diakonie here in Hamburg, the Bucerius Law Clinic provides free legal counsel to needy people who, due to their personal or financial situation, would not be able to exercise their rights were it not for the work of the clinic. The Master of Law and Business program requires its students to participate in a law school approved service project as a prerequisite to graduation. I think we're one of the very few master's programs that do that, to say you must give back to society. You do not have to be Bill Gates to give back, but you have to give your time and talent to people who are less fortunate than yourselves. In addition, many Bucerius students at all levels participate in a wide range of volunteer activities, whether helping immigrants here in Hamburg, working with young people from disadvantaged areas here in northern Germany, raising money for relief projects in Venezuela, Haiti, and elsewhere, or traveling to foreign countries to work in orphanages. When we take some of these tours, say with Hamburg with the homeless, it's very interesting to hear the different perspectives of the students depending upon where they come from, of the situation these people are in. Many people from developed countries say we have to do more for the homeless, and it's a very international body, the homeless here, just as German society in general. And other people, especially from developing countries, say if you have to be homeless, this is a good place to be homeless. There are worse places to be in that situation in other parts of the world. And then we have occasionally students from countries that will remain unnamed that say where we come from, these people would be whipped and taken off the streets. They also are the ones who consider Germany very disorganized and dirty. So we are not there to tell people how to think in the master's program, in the Bucerius Law School, but we are there to get people to engage in a discussion about problems that exist in most societies, at least in the Western world today. The Bucerius Law School is completely privately financed. The Zeit Foundation covers a significant portion of the expenses of the law school, while additional funds are donated by various business and legal enterprises. You will be in the German Deutsche Bank Hall, probably later today or tomorrow, which is completely funded by Deutsche Bank, notably not a law firm. Student tuition, which covers less than 30% of expenses, can be paid after a student completes his or her studies and is limited to a certain percentage of a graduate's income. Thus, any student who is admitted to the Bucerius Law School LLB program can study at Bucerius regardless of the financial background of the student's family and without being crippled by high debt after graduation, which, as everybody here knows, is a big problem, especially in the U.S. law schools. Today and tomorrow, it is our pleasure to host this International Corporate and Governance and Law Conference, which is being held in partnership with the Center for Comparative Corporate Governance of Deakin Law School and with financial support by the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation. The array of conference topics is wide and interesting. I've looked over your materials with issues ranging from disclosure, financial reporting, and supply chain to human rights, jurisdictional issues, and many more. The perspectives you will provide will be wide-ranging, not only because of the many countries from which you come, but because many of you live and work in countries outside of your homes. As a U.S. citizen who has lived in the UK and France, as well as here in Hamburg, I am well aware of both the challenges and the insights that such activity provides. On behalf of the Bucerius Law School, including my colleague, Professor Jörn Axel Kemmerer, I wish you a pleasant and productive experience here in Hamburg and turn the floor over now to Professor Jean Duplessis of the Deakin Law School. Thank you very much.